Toujours en français, j'appelle les directeurs du Conseil européen.
So, even if the debates in the European Council was held in French, we will talk to all of you in English. So, the European Council. Thank you very much. So the European Council was my first experience as a chair, and it was a very, very impressive committee with being serious, but also a lot of fun. For example, we have at some time the representative of the Hungary that we qualified as almost the dictator of the committee that's asked for replace the chair that was sick. He made the point and was acclamated by its fellow delegates while being a speech about the new and strong lead that he will bring to Europe a hand of iron. It was kind of funny because it was like, for those who know, the speech of Palpatine in Star Wars 3 saying the end of the democracy and the start of an empire. It was very amazing, and we have a lot of difficulties to choose for the awards, but I will let Marina talk a few words before.
So our committee was in French, but we, as he said, we're going to do the speech in English, because as much as we like the language of French, we like everyone to be part of this committee. To resume a bit, it was very funny at the very beginning because we were so rushed that we started directly, formally, the session. So we start the court roll without presenting ourselves. My co-chair is quite determined to start very fast. But during the 2 days was very intensive, and the delegates spoke a lot of things regarding to the finance, which increased the budget of the Triton and discussed the new mechanism for the Frontex, although they were a bit out of the topic. They also talk about the enlargement of the operation area. They also reform the right of asylum and the immigrant help, and the very last is the bilateral cooperation with the African states, which is quite important. This was more or less what we have done, and very well done, to be honest. So we're going to announce the awards. So for the best position paper is going to Poland, Dimitri Durand. The honorable mention is going to be to Hungary, Romain Guillaume-Rousseau. And the best delegate, we want to award it to Sacha Ferrand, the delegate of Spain. Thank you very much for your work. We really appreciate it. Very well done.
I'm calling the chairs for the Security Council number 1. And the Security Council 2, get ready now, please.
have kind of a big nose. Throughout the years, I've heard several explanations for the questions, what are the benefits of MUN, or why do we do MUN? And I think one of these explanations, which hasn't really been explored enough, is the potential of MUN to generate ideas which eventually may be turned into action. To explain this a little bit more, let me tell you something about the work we did at the United Nations Security Council, where a Russian-American friendship flourished in the fields, where Venezuela and Chad led jointly the African Union, where the P5 actually achieved a solution and consensus after being scolded by the UN Secretary General. And in this kind of scenario, you will realize that this cannot possibly be real life. This is just a game. And if you think of it, it's not really a realistic one. But it is a very useful game. In MUN, we imagine and personify a possible future. We have an idea of a future which may or may not be brought into action at some point in time. In the UNSC, we imagined a future peacekeeping mission in Libya, even after leaders within the political science had declared this impossible due to the escalation caused by the 2011 NATO airstrikes in the region. In the UNSC, however, we imagined a world where international security cooperation is indeed possible. However, don't get the wrong idea. The path to a resolution was actually covered with blood, sweat, and tears. The threat of a veto looming in the horizon during the 2 days made it necessary for the chairs to lock the P5 members in a room during a P5 moderated caucus for about 30 minutes. And a consensus was actually only achieved once again after the Secretary General sternly scolded them and reminded them of the purpose and the mission of the United Nations. Thank you very much, Hannah, for that. In a nutshell, my experience with the United Nations Security Council taught me that even in such an imagined scenario, conflict is still present. MUN is not to numb us into an unfounded hope for an utopian future full of harmony, peace, and a world anthem written by John Lennon. There will always be conflict. However, MUN does teach us that the future is not utopian, but it can indeed be better. And for this, it demands action. Although some of you have already begun this process, for most of us this time will come in a couple of years when we engage in an NGO, when we engage in an international organization, or whatever we choose to settle. However, until this time comes, we will carry on creating ideas through this platform that we have all learned to love. In other words, we will all see you a year from now in PIMUN 2016. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. So you have said everything, so we'll move on straight to the awards. Starting with the position paper, we would like to nominate Lithuania because you have... And we also would like to commend your structure of speech and your rhetoric throughout the whole committee. You had the wisest ideas, and really congratulations. In terms of honorable mentions, okay, it has been really hard to choose because initially 2 P5 members were missing. So we had to do with the state of affairs as it was. We want to award a team that has worked amazingly together, extremely balanced, although it was, I believe, their first or second Model UN only, and they were truly amazing. So, rewarding your renewed imperialism, delegation of France, you were excellent. And then, once we had to lock everyone up in terms of P5 members into one room for 30 minutes because we were not reaching anything, we want to commend the role of the United States of America as honorable mention, because you have been really good in bringing everyone to consensus, and you have made a friendship with Russia. We found that quite amazing. In terms of best delegates, we have 2 of them. We would like to commend the delegation of Venezuela. You had a very, very excellent, really excellent structure of mind. Your speeches were always amazing, and we think you will be an amazing international lawyer in the future, so congratulations. And last but not least, the renewed leadership of Chad for the African Union. Please listen to us, so congratulations, best delegate. And on this note, on behalf of Oscar and myself, I would like to thank the PIMUN Secretariat for their amazing work this year, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.
Now the second Security Council, please come here.
So, honorable delegates, distinguished chairs, tireless executive committee of the PIMUN 2015, dear friends, first I must start saying that I'm sorry, I'm deeply sorry, because the only French words I know are croissant, baguette, Peugeot, Citroën, and Subaru, but, well, sorry, that's Japanese, so sorry, I will not speak in French. Not because I don't want to learn it, it's because I don't know it. So, no one is perfect. And if my career is over from the beginning, well, I was born and raised in Italy, and the job and employment rate is already high without it, so it doesn't change so much. But I can assure you that I'm looking for a change, and this is what we have been looking for in our Security Council. We looked for something different, and it is a privilege to be in front of you in this majestic venue and in indicating the bestest of this United Nations Security Council too. And it is difficult to summarize in 5 minutes what this committee has proved, and for sure great characters, because maybe you don't know it, but Margaret Thatcher has risen from the dead, and her spirit has been amongst us in bones and flesh. And also, our P5 members were the balanced sample of mental instability. Some of them were confused, and others hilariously stubborn. So I think that they deserve an award for that. Not only them, all delegates. And so we proceed now with the awards. And I start with the best position paper. And we think that this delegation has made a well-written and consistent in both topics, the position paper. Therefore, I would like to ask this delegation to stand. New Zealand, please.
Thank you, Jan. Congratulations, New Zealand. That was actually the one paper we are sure that should be awarded. And it was a big pleasure for me to read on my topic. Great job, really, guys. I've been asked to keep it short, and so it will be. However, many people ask me, so tell us, please, how was Security Council 2 this time? And my answer is simple and brief. It's been such a big fun. We had 3 attempts to adapt something. One of them was successful. On the first day, we had a resolution that failed. On the second day, the very same resolution, draft resolution, was reconsidered, and it passed. The most interesting part of it was the provision stating that any amendments to the UN Charter can only be passed upon anonymity, which is actually far from reality. As for the second resolution, it failed upon 2 vetoes by UK and was it Russian Federation, right? Going straight to the awards now. Honorable mentions. The first one goes to, we have not mentioned Maggie Thatcher. We had that one delegate that was speaking in that manner, resembling Margaret Thatcher, and she's a part of this delegation. Congratulations, Jordan. Right. Moving on. Second honorable mention goes to Lithuania.
And now we are moving to the moment that this council has been waiting for. We have two best delegates, two best delegations. The first one goes to a delegation that has worked tirelessly round the clock and has helped very much the conversation, the debates there, and therefore I would like to invite the delegation of Chile to stand, please.
Well done, Republic of Chile. Second award, might it be a coincidence? I don't think so. Congratulations, French Republic. Right. One last short comment to explain you why I personally am very thankful for the United Nations to be existent. It's simply because without the United Nations, there would be no model United Nations.
Before leaving the floor to our next speakers, I would like just to thank Norbert, my co-chair, because actually once I was his chair, and not a long time ago, he was my chair. And so in PIMUN, finally, we had the chance to work together. And this actually has been great, and I'm very thankful for having been appointed along with him. So thank you very much to the Secretariat. Thank you for appointing us and for giving us this chance. And I would like to finish with one last remark, because I know most of you do not know me, and why you should. And, and few have also received roses, and maybe by me, and well, maybe they had a glimpse of who have seen me, how one of my core beliefs that you can actually have comfort and knowledge from beauty. And well, I want you to realize that I'm a force for change. And I must say that I'm deeply happy that you all, forces of change, renewed this spirit of mine. Therefore, please try to go forward and keep yourself strong. Thank you.
If you want to send love to your co-chair or your delegates, please do it outside, because we're quite late now. So I'm not calling the crisis committee, the historical crisis, please, and the staff.
So, good evening, fellow delegates. Sorry, first, I don't have any voices, but so I really hope my speech won't be such a source of inspiration. It was my first time as crisis director, and also my first time as speaker in UNESCO. So last year, I was sitting where you sit now, wondering why I have to suffer one more speech. And yes, I had the same headache. But I finally found the answer, because it's crisis time. And the Spanish Civil War was basically the story of fascists struggling with Democrats. Nothing extraordinary up to this point, but add a few coup d'etat, assassination, mix it with delegate suggestion, and you will quickly obtain a big mess. So the US became the North American Reich, ruled by a car manufacturer, and Ireland a theocracy, ruled by a revolutionary archbishop. That caused my own assassination by some crazy Soviet spies, by the way. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate all my delegates for their great imagination and definitely for their great work all along the simulation. And guys, Guys, you were just amazing. You provoked a second world war, and 2 hours before the end of the committee, you finally announced to me that you have solved the Spanish Civil War. What the hell didn't you solve it in the first place? Anyway, so.
Hi everyone. My role in crisis stuff was very small. It was just going in, there was a Russian spy and KGB agent or commander. But despite all of that, I want to thank you guys for making the crisis team work so hard for 2 days. And congratulations on your work. It was worth it. And without further ado, the best position paper goes to the delegation of USSR.
And so the honorable mention goes to Belgium. And I should add another mention for Belgium for the great work that you did as elected Supreme Delegate. And so the best delegate award goes to the Kingdom of Italy. Thank you and congratulations.
I'm now calling the chair and staff for the Triple Joint Crisis. Est-ce que c'est possible de remettre le PowerPoint à la place de la vidéo, juste pour ce qui arrive là, s'il vous plaît?
Okay. Hello. Whoa. Hello, delegates. I'm really sorry about my voice. I'll be really fast. Don't worry. It's really funny, I know. It's just that being a crisis director is actually really dangerous. You can lose your voice. Be careful, guys. So, we are not going to explain you what we did. We wanted to show you directly what we did. So thank you for the staff to let us do that. Mario.
Bright stars through the perilous كالنار كالنار وضية هبت كالريح 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 قوية شبت كالنار 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 وضية سارت بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر أبية سارت بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر أبية أهلا أهلا قافلتي يا قافلتي المهنية هبت كالريح 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 قوية شبت كالنار 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 وضية هبت كالريح 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 قوية شبت كالنار 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 وضية سارت بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر أبية سارت بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر أبية
Delegates, I'll be as fast as possible. First of all, because I can't speak. And second of all, because we know that the staff is really busy now and we need to end it really fast. So just a few fun facts. People in Afghanistan were so stressed that they decided to send bomb ships. We don't understand. They were simply animals carrying with bombs directly targeted to the Soviet Union. Secondly, France, for example, had a strike of their spies in Afghanistan because they discovered that alcohol was banned. That was true. And eventually, we just want to say that in Kandahar, which is in the south of Afghanistan, Soviet Union was calling the city the new Stalingrad because 20,000 Soviet troops resisted to 70,000 troops of the Arab League, and they successfully get them out of the country. So this was completely crazy. And now I will let the staff do the awards. So well done, delegates, and we'll be as fast as possible again.
Hello, delegates. So, the awards for the UN Security Council for the Triple Joint Crisis. The honorable mention goes to United States of America.
Thank you, delegates. And now the best delegation award goes to the USSR, representing by Sorbonne University.
For the Afghanistan Council, the honorable mention goes to Mohammed Ali Khan, the Pakistan delegates.
And the award of the best delegate goes to the Chief Massoud.
In the USSR cabinet, the honorable mention goes to the Foreign Ministry of Affairs, Andrei Gromyko.
And the best delegate award goes to Leonid Brezhnev.
We are glad to recognize as best position paper
goes to USSR.
Despite of that, we'd like to thank all the delegates of the Triple Joint Crisis Committee for their participation, for their amazing work on that, and especially for their crazy ideas who made us love so much. So thank you very much.
I want to especially thank the staff and PIMUN also for the support and to let us do crazy things in this committee. So thank you again all, and see you in PIMUN 2016.
I'm now calling the chair for the UNESCO and the chair for UN News because we have to conclude now quickly. Please, chair, come now on stage.
Well, As we're running out of time, I'm going to try to keep it short and make it very quick. First of all, I'd like to say that it's been a real pleasure and a real honor to chair the UNESCO committee this year, especially since we're in the UNESCO headquarters today. That means a lot. Our delegates have been very active and have produced a real amount of work. Even if we were in a rush yesterday, they managed to pass a resolution with success and with an overwhelming majority. I also want to say that we spent 2 great days with the entire members and entire delegates of the committee. We've loved a lot when we saw the delegates who were late singing and dancing on Beyoncé around the world. And also, we've taken a lot of pleasure by reading the messages, which were very creative and original when they were attached to the many roses that were given in our committees. I'm going to let the word to my fellow co-chair.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Distinguished delegates, I think this week alone, I've been pretty much UNESCO-ized. Not only because I used to represent my school, Sciences Po, in UNESCO Comedy back in New York, but I also now work in UNESCO Permanent Delegation of Sri Lanka, and we actually work pretty much more intense with the comedy that we have. The past 2 days, there are certain moments where we have to work from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. the next day, but I'm pretty much glad that the work of the comedy that we had in the 2 days actually reflect the real UNESCO that I encounter in real life. So I'm pretty much proud of that. And as the chair of UNESCO, I'm going to very quickly explain about 2 things. The first thing that I'm going to say is the overview of the substance that we have in our comedy. The second thing that I'm going to say is about the criteria of how we choose the awardees of all the awards that we have. So first of all, the substance overview. So what makes us really proud of our delegates in UNESCO Comedy is because they've gone far beyond what we expected from them. Not only that they debated about the percentage and the technicalities of setting the percentage of having women quota in the United Nations, they've also managed to go far beyond that and debating about the philosophical aspect of women empowerment and putting an end of gender discrimination and promoting gender equality. And we believe that this is such a tremendous accomplishment from their side. The second thing is about the criteria that we set to actually choose all the awardees that we selected. It was not an easy job, to be honest. We spent almost an hour just to set which delegate deserved this, but we finally set 3 criteria for that. First are the delegates who have the mastery of the substance. We are very impressed that there are some delegates who come up with a lot of precedents, parallel examples, scientific and econometrics data even. And second one is the ability to drive the committee with their mastery of rules of procedures. So they're the ones who are able and master all these rules of procedure. And lastly, is their diplomatic manner, negotiation skills, public speakings, and their ability to promote the UN values, not of competition, but of cooperation. Not of trying to win this thing, but just try to pursue their interest among all these contrasting interests all together and to try to find common grounds. I think I've spoken too much, and for the awards itself, I'm going to give the floor to Veronica. Thank you.
Good evening, bonsoir. PIMUN is my first MUN, so it's pretty exciting being here. Just for a quick question, is anyone here from Hungary? Oh, great, great, okay. I was very curious from the very first moment. So just about the awards, the best position papers goes to Canada. And the second best position paper goes to United Arab Emirates. The first honorable mention goes to Saudi Arabia. The second honorable mention goes to Turkmenistan. It was a very hard choice, but finally we made it in the very last moment. So the best delegate goes to Denmark. So thank you very much and see you soon.
To conclude the UN news very quickly, thank you.
Members of the Secretariat, distinguished guests, honorable chairs, fellow delegates, I'll try to be brief. But I should start my speech by saying hashtag saving the best until last. I'm grateful for the opportunity that it was given to me to chair the UN News Committee. I am very lucky that I met smart, creative, beautiful, and funny delegates that made this session the best one I've ever attended, and it made it special for the other delegates that enjoy their tweets and live reportings. I would like to personally thank them all, so I'll just thank them. Kavya, Quincy, Ariane, Oksana, Abdelrahman, Stella, Alice, Guillaume, Luis, Pauline, Samuel, Janice, Fares, Emile, Dimitri, Rita, Sophie, Zaydan, thank you. I'm now going to move to announce the prizes. Believe me, this was the hardest decision I've ever made, and I officially asked for another prize, but the request was turned down, so I just wanted to include two outstanding delegates in my oral speech, Sophie and Zaydan, France 24, and Russia Today. You are really outstanding, and I do consider I have given you a prize today. For the official prizes, the Best Position Paper award goes to Ariane Fogues, BBC News. Outstanding delegate, Dmitry Karabutov, Euronews. And the Best Delegate award, it feels like Eurovision, goes to Emil Pevtsov, France 24. To conclude, thank you for the amazing session, and remember, this is not goodbye, this is a see you soon.
So congratulations, delegates. Keep in mind, Mother UN is not just about awards, it's about having fun learning and giving the best of yourself. So congratulations to all of you, even though you didn't get an award. We're coming to the end. So in every Mother UN conference you will go, you will hear members of the Secretariat saying, oh my God, it was so much work for so many months, I'm so proud of my team, blah, blah, blah. And I used to consider it was a bit exaggerated. Well, now that I have been in the Secretariat, I can tell it has been so much work, it has been so many months, and I am so proud of this team. Including ASG and all the staff. Please applaud them because they made an amazing job. Teamwork is not always easy, as we can have quite long discussions and we do not agree on everything, but at the end of the day, this is for the best. We try to offer you the best conference you could have in Paris, and even though nothing's perfect, I think we did well. It has been a pleasure to be in touch with you delegates for many months, and I am talking in the name of the whole communication team who was in charge of the gossip, humans of PIMUN, roses, etc., and who's an amazing team, by the way. We would like to thank our sponsors, our Mother UN partners. I would like to thank our photographers because they took many pictures of you that will be put on Facebook very soon. And thank you to anybody who's been supporting PIMUN. Thank you, chairs and delegate, for making this conference unforgettable. And I deeply hope I will see you next year in PIMUN 2016. to close the ceremony properly, I am now calling our Secretary General, who isn't actually just a colleague, but became a genuine friend of mine and of us. She received too many roses, and she pushed the Secretariat really far this year. She gave very high quality to this conference, so please give it up for Hannah Hudak.
Hi. So, dear all, I'm going to skip this part. Thank you for joining us for the closing ceremony of the 4th session of the Paris International Model United Nations at this amazing place that is the UNESCO headquarters. We're delighted to deliver you a full day of debating in the room 1 for the 4th year in a row now. 4 days ago, we agreed that networking is the cornerstone of PIMUN 2015. And I will never repeat enough how important it is to mingle and just meet different people. I'm stunned by how many things I have learned and how much I was able to grow each day thanks to this experience, previously to the conference and during the conference. But most of all, I'm delighted to see where it has led me, with what kind of people I have interacted, and what kind of new undiscovered worlds I have discovered. Apart from, no, sorry. Yeah, this one. So, from carrying bottles of water to walking in on the UN Women Committee along with the triple joint, ordering all female delegates to wear burqas, getting almost kicked out of the club yesterday for taking a picture with a selfie stick, you know what I'm talking about, tweeting like crazy, giving interviews and enjoying committee debates, to having a hard time actually formulating and summing up my impressions up there just some time ago. I can now truly say I've been through every imaginable role in PIMUN. And I'm delighted to actually have witnessed the implementation of our fabulous small projects, such as Humans of PIMUN, and the PIMUN champagne bottles as well. Yes, we're real trendsetters, as well as the birth of many new ideas. All of this wouldn't have been possible without all of you. The feedback, the energy, the motivation, and the spirit I got talking from each and every one of you is absolutely amazing. And this is the energy that kept us going for these 4 days. And this is the energy that makes PIMUN 2015 such a success. Apart from having an amazing time and living with a lot of memories and new friends, we hope you learned a couple more things while attending PIMUN. We hope you were able to experience the need to act. We hope you understood that making changes and innovating starts with the need to apply knowledge and specific solutions to answer specific needs. This way, we not only save time worth a lot of money, but strive to bring together positive human energy for the benefit of society. Only in a civilization where professionals are in the position of exercising their knowledge and experience can there be progress in all fields. We hope you also learned that there is no use in blindly holding on to your initial plan. As you have seen while debating in your respective committees, you will see as well that life has many ways of getting you where you want. And the one you've scheduled is not necessarily the one that will happen. We need to let new ideas and different perspectives cross our paths and influence our decisions. So even unplanned or bad things can be a new opportunity to seize. It is upon us to decide how we perceive these surprises along the way and what we make of them. So the best example I could find of this is our wonderful UN News Committee, actually, who at first wasn't very sure of its role, but ended up actually rolling and rocking the news world and this PIMUN. So special mention to you guys again. And one last thing before we finally close this conference. I would like to say that friendships forged in Paris shouldn't and won't stop after the conference ends, because they represent the bridges you have built to connect to the rest of the world. And on this account, let me read you a beautiful quotation from a Yugoslav Literature Nobel Prize winner, Ivo Andrić, who says, "Of everything that man erects and builds in his urge for living, nothing is, in my eyes, better and more valuable than bridges. They are more important than houses, more sacred than shrines, belonging to everyone and being equal to everyone, useful, always built with a sense on the spot where most human needs are crossing. They are more durable than other buildings, and they do not serve for anything secret or bad. So remember this and stay friends and keep in touch. And now, before I officially close the conference, please welcome on stage, with an applause as long as you know they deserve, the organizing team members of PIMUN 2015, this time everyone, guys. Thank you very much. So I have only one thing left to do, and that is to officially close the 4th session of the Paris International Model United Nations. See you next year!
Please sit down, go home. Everybody go home. There. زيدان من العراق. زيدان من العراق.
Et quand on voit tout derrière, d'accord? Viens là, toi.